Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Wings of Liberty game. The way that StarCraft was supposed to be played, at least about 11 years ago on release. Of course, we're in Legacy of the Void now usually. We see a game here between Spirit and Bly on Fire. This is from a recent tournament that got held on Wings of Liberty to see if anything changed, if the players with the skills from nowadays would move back into time. We saw Spirit try to open up immediately by sending his SCV to the ramp to start the first depot. Then he realized, wait a second, I started with 6 workers, not with 12, and I actually need to get a couple of more workers before I get my first depot. Now he sends it out. It was apparently a really fun tournament. I haven't seen anything of it yet, and I don't quite know the scores, but I did get a couple of these replays. And yeah, I'm just gonna have a look. You know, we're gonna start with this Bly versus Spirit. Of course, Spirit, the player formerly known as Sol. And there's a lot more time to kill here. I kind of forgot about that. Usually 1 minute in, at least we see pools go down. But at this point, we only have workers being constructed. I have to admit, my Wings of Liberty metagame knowledge isn't quite as good as it used to be. I used to be a pretty decent player back in Wings as well. So maybe top 50, top 40 Grandmaster, maybe top 30 at the end of Wings of Liberty actually. I don't think I made top 16 quite yet, but that was pretty decent. But I can't quite recall what the normal build orders were. In my head, you need a tech lab in order to build a Reaper. And thus we saw a lot of CC expands without any gas. Out of the Zerg, we are going to see a hatch first. Some things never change. It's just odd to see 2 minutes and 30 seconds in game, and so far the only thing that has happened is that a hatchery had gone down. Makes you respect the casters from back in the day a lot more, that they managed to fill so much dead time, because holy crap, there's not a whole lot of strategic choice in the first 3 minutes. And I'm glad that that part is kind of sped up in StarCraft 2. You know, there's really nothing going on right now. This is great. Second depot does get built already. I feel like that's too fast. You probably could have squeezed in a command center before that. At least that's what I think. I might be wrong. Maybe he's gonna go for a mind game as Bly's first Overlord is gonna hit the other side of the map, and we'll be able to see the CC being built on location. 3 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Now, as a man who uses the timer a lot in Legacy of the Void, seeing a CC go down at 340 is all types of wrong, as nowadays the CC goes down at 138. So this is a solid 2 minutes too late for that. But of course, in Wings of Liberty, everything was a little bit slower. The players were a little bit slower, and we're playing on Ohana. Ohana means family, of course. Were there any critters on Ohana? Can't quite recall. I do know that there's a tower here. 3rd base, a 4th base. This is a 5-base map. 5th being relatively difficult to keep, difficult to take as well. So you have the first 2 links on the map, and Spirit here is looking for an Overlord. Is not quite going to find it, and instead will start heading home. Speed started, well, the speed timing. Oh, the speed timing is different as well. That is 79 seconds at this point in StarCraft 2. And here it was 110. I did not know that. Okay, these links, the slow links, are going to be able to find this marine. This marine is going to get into the bunker as well. Oh, his SCV might get caught. No, will make its way into the bunker. Overlord went down, and the reactor will start, as we'll see. I guess you swap into Hellions from here. I have absolutely no clue. Maybe Hellion Banshee. Bly is going to play 2-base Lair. Okay, so 2-base Infestor, 2-base Mutalisk. I mean, Lurker is not going to be an option. Swarmos don't exist yet. There's no such thing as the Viper. Of course, Infestor Broodlord was really broken back in the day. We'll see if Bly... He actually was a big Broodlord Infestor abuser as well in Wings. I remember sometimes Immortal all-inning him, and you'd kill his 3rd base, and he'd start sitting on 2 bases with Spinecrawlers and Infestors, and then slowly but surely crawl to his 3rd base. But because you couldn't actually attack into Infestor Broodlord, it didn't really matter that he had no eco, as long as he wasn't losing too many units. Infestor Broodlord was insanely broken. It's very, very good. Triple gas is being taken here. This smells like the Mutalisk. Was the Mutalisk better in Wings? I don't remember. It might have been better. I just don't know. We'll see if this Spire... Yep, Spire's gonna go down here for Bly. So now there's Hellions on the way. We don't see a starport. Bly did scout everything so far, except for the third base. This is actually insane. We're 7 minutes into the game. And nothing has happened yet. They've lost a Ling and an Overlord. Most of my games nowadays end in 7 minutes. There's an insane build-up in Wings of Liberty. Holy crap. The speed of this game is so slow. There's just nothing happening. 8 minutes into the game. Spire halfway done. Baneling Nest on the way. Actually crazy. Actually crazy how slow this is. Are you gonna get Evo Chambers, or do you just go into like mass Mutalisk? 52 workers against 40. In my eyes, this looks good for the Zerg, especially because there's not going to be any real pressure out of the Terran for another, well, 40 seconds or so. Mutalisk will be out by the time these first two Medivacs will hit. Now, there is a third CC, which is nice. There's double eBay as well. Spirit is gonna be going into tanks here. I feel like my brain is moving slower as well, just watching this. I'm gonna have to watch some of these VODs to go back in time to see what casters did back in the day. I guess this is why Artosis and Tasteless are so good at kind of bullshitting, you know? You need to be able to talk about things that are not StarCraft if this is the first 10 minutes of the game. Holy crap. Third CC is gonna start flying over. Now we're gonna have our first move out of the Terran. Less than 300 resources lost in the first 10 minutes here. This is mental. This is actually crazy to see. Yeah, I wonder what these Mutalisks are gonna be used for. Probably to just try and fight this Marine push. Baning speed hasn't finished yet. Mutalisk coming back home. There's a lot of money in the bank for Bly though. It's gonna be a little bit supply block. 10 more links on the way. There's a turret that is third. And at this point, the worker count isn't even looking too bad here for Spirit. Spirit actually is looking pretty spicy. Oh, it's going to be able to take out one of these Mutalisks. I think back in the day, Mutalisk had way worse regeneration as well. So if you... Oh, you needed to research Siege! That was an upgrade! That was a really expensive upgrade. I forgot about having to research the Siege upgrade. Yeah, Mutas have less regeneration, if I recall correctly. So every hit you deal to the Muta actually matters. Look. 111, 112. This is a lot slower. It still feels pretty fast. But I do believe it's slower than it is nowadays. Nowadays it's really quite fast, the regeneration. We'll have to see. I'll feel it out. I'll feel it out. Okay, this Marine's gonna get taken out. Combat Shield starts at the 11-minute mark. Takes 2 minutes to research as well. This is a crazy game. This has nothing to do with an RTS. This is mental. I remember thinking back in the day that everything went really fast though, but now watching this, I mean, they're still playing fast. Oh, actually, Spirit is playing really slow, 220 APM. That is really, really low speed. Like, just really low speed. I'm extremely surprised by that. Huh. Okay, we have a second factory on the way. 4th CC already. So Spirit is gonna do what he usually does nowadays in Legacy of the Void Zone. That's expanding quickly. A couple of Mutas are gonna go down on the side of Bly. Baneling will explode on top of that car. Bly's creating 8 more Mutalisk and now starts his first 2 Evo Chambers. How many Mutas did he do? He lost 4 Mutas already. He's looking for damage, but he's not quite finding it. Spirit is playing one hell of a game here, honestly. Throws down... how many depots has he thrown down? 2 so far. It's not great. Double factory. And of course, I was gonna say, why doesn't he build any Widow Mines? I think you can build Thors, no? Like, you're gonna need an armory for that, which... Oh, okay, there's an armory. But then I think you can build Thors. But I can't... Yeah, the Thor is a Wings of Liberty. Sure. Yeah, because you had the special Thor if you bought like the Deluxe edition or something like that. Yeah, for sure. Like the cool looking Thor with like a star on it or something like that. Okay, here comes a fight out of Bly. Starts targeting down tanks. Good spread on these Banings. Man, Mutalisk, did he do more damage or... Why did these tanks fall so quickly? Man, that fight wasn't close at all. Spirit completely getting blasted here. There is a drop in the main base, which is going to be able to do a little bit of damage. Fourth base out of Bly was under attack, but is going to get cleaned up. Spirit is not really focusing anything with this drop, though. He was too busy microing this army back. Medevac count is low. This drop eventually is going to get cleaned up as the Mutalisks start making their way back home. Are they slower than they are nowadays? I have no clue. I feel like I'm seeing Ghost at this point. I'm just making stuff up. This medevac drop is going to get taken out. The creep spread is... Well, there's creep tumors, which is better than most people had in Wings of Liberty. This fourth base is being taken over here. 2-2 starts 15 minutes into the game. And... well, what is this? Links. We have a Baneling run by here going into the third base. Looking for damage. We'll be able to find at least a little bit of damage. Tank also goes down. The tanks just feel like they fall like flies, by the way. Fourth base does go down for Bly. Gonna be flying around with these Mutas a bit more, looking for damage. 7 more Mutas on the way. He still has almost no upgrades for his Ling Bane. He's just purely trusting on these Mutas. Is he aware that there's a fourth? He knows there's a fourth base. Probably wants to snipe that, no? Oh, there goes the first turret. First turret does go down. Good control on these Mutalisks. Muta almost does fall. Spirit keeps pushing forward. This is not the fight that Bly wants to take, by the way. Good target fire on these tanks. The tanks dishing out a lot of damage. We are going to be taking a little bit of damage from these Mutas as well. 2 more Mutas go down. Bly playing a sloppy game of StarCraft 2 here. Will manage to deny this base, but he's having trouble getting his own mining going as well. And that's also kind of important. First Thor just now popping out. 59 Marines against 14 Mutalisks, 22 Banelings and 25 Zerglings. The Ling Bane count for Bly is just a little bit too low. Mutalisk moving in will be able to take out these Marines and actually might be capable of taking out another tank. Yeah, we'll jump on that tank and indeed will end up... oh, no, will not get it. Fourth base is 100 seconds. 100 seconds on the base, okay. That's normal at least. Drop is going to try to do a little bit of damage. Bly is kind of making a comeback here, by the way. Somehow, some way, without any upgrades, down 20 workers. He's just winning fight after fight. The medevac count still is very low here. At least with this army, there's not a single medevac. Another stim gets forced. There's a single marine spotting this right side base. Spirit hasn't really been capable of denying a whole lot of creep. It's just kind of standing in this extremely broken position, by the way. Like, these rocks are just providing so much value here for the Terran player. Here comes Bly. We'll be able to clean this up as these marines get taken out. 80 workers on the side of Spirit, and 2-2 upgrades also have finished, so these fights should be going well, but in reality, Bly is actually winning these fights, and I'm not quite sure how, honestly. Like, there's no upgrades whatsoever. There's just one carapace upgrade, that's it. Now all of a sudden the army supply is going to be in favor of Bly. Bly's going to keep pushing in. 2-2 marines with a bunker will be able to deal a lot of damage against these Mutas and these Lings without any major upgrades, and this was not a fight that Bly could take. He should have gone for the deny on the fort, but too many turrets there. Maybe the third base? No, Bly maybe is doing it anyway. He's going to be able to take out every single marine here in the natural. Now keep rallying forward. Takes a guess. Oh my god, there's so many Lings coming in right now. Third base should be a target, but needs more of a couple of Banes, ideally, you know? 8 more Mutas on the way. Why no Banelings? No Banelings here are being morphed. There is a bunker here, which is going to save this base. And 83 workers on the side of Spirit means that he's still in a fine position. 3-3 stars. At the same time as +1 melee is about to finish up here for Bly, who is on 5 hatcheries, but 54 workers. And one of those hatcheries, well, 2 of those hatcheries are in his main base. And one of those in his main is not mining. So, yeah, it's not a great start. It's, well, start. Yeah, actually, like, we're barely entering the mid game. Like in Legacy of the Void, we'd be saying we're, well, we are in the mid game. Like, we'd say we're about to enter the late game. 20 minutes in. 3-3 on the way. 5th base coming down as well. These Mutalisks are looking for some harass, and they will... well, they're gonna find a little bit of damage, but not too much. Like, Bly at this point, I don't want to say needs a miracle, but he needs, well, something that is close to a miracle. You know, not quite splitting the Red Sea type of miracle, but not turning water into wine type of miracle. This is a more regular miracle, you know, something that's a nice party trick. For example, like 2 baling mines exploding 40 marines. Like that would be a cool thing to do. Like a minor miracle is what Bly needs at this point. Because he still is down about, what is it, 20 workers. Counting has always been difficult for me. Tanks are leapfrogging forward. And these positions are so weird. Spirit not too keen to stim forward here. Gonna slowly but surely leapfrog forward with those tanks. More marines are coming across the map. Tower is of course occupied here by Spirit as well. We'll see this run by coming in miles away and has a bunch of units at home as well. Let's see what Spirit is going to be doing against this. Start sieging up the tanks immediately. Well, immediately. A little bit too late perhaps, but 2 marines are so powerful against this army. Bunker at the 3rd base once again will save it as this fort gets taken out another time. Bly in an absolute world of trouble here. In an absolute world of trouble. Ay. Tanks are going to be shooting on these banelings. Banelings not going to get taken out. They will manage to get some type of retreat. The Spirit decides to stim home a large portion of his marines. So Lynx and Mutalisk have entered the main base at this point. More marines are going to be going down. Oh, Mutalisk need to be micro. Oh, sloppy control once again out of Bly. 55 Mutalisk have gone down already in this game, and I have a feeling that's not where it's going to end with the control that Bly's been showcasing so far. A lot of the workers do go down in the main base though, and even though Bly has been down supply this entire game, feels like a lot of these fights have been going his way. I don't understand why. It's not like the Marine got better in Legacy of the Void. I guess without mines, these fights are just kind of tricky. Without Widow Mines, that is. And I'll see Banelings moving in. Good stim there out of Spirit. Doesn't really take a whole lot of damage. Another Ling run by is being sent in, and Spirit is going to spot it, but will not respond quick enough, honestly. Well, oh, the Taurs have energy! Oh, they have the 250mm Punisher cannon. Something like that. Punisher cannon. Bought it at the BDSM shop. Good old Taurs. I needed energy for that. This is a game. This is nostalgia at the max for me. Slow StarCraft 2. It does have something. And watching Ohana as well, it does feel kind of good. But I think Spirit is in such a good spot at this point that he can't really throw it away anymore. 2 tanks on the high ground dishing out a lot of damage. 3-3 upgrades, of course, for the bio as well. It's just, the problem is you're just dealing too much damage. And there's nothing that Bly can do. GG gets typed and Spirit will win this game. It's been fun, but the first 10 minutes, I think nothing happened. Like after that, it's almost like a real game. But the first 10 minutes, units lost. Lost 2 links and an Overlord. 8 minutes, 24 seconds. That's ridiculous. All right. Well, that's going to be it for today. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all next time for a new video. If you want to see more of these Wings of Liberty games, I can see if I can collect a couple more. Be sure to leave that in the comments down below, and perhaps I'll do another one. And if not, well then, Legacy, it is a game. Thanks so much for watching, and bye-bye.